Riding through this world, down, all alone, down. But we're not riding through this world all alone because it's Monday, and that means it is time for Moral Monday. That means it's time for a Sons of Anarchy review. It is time for Old Bones, Season 1, Episode 7. What old bones, what old secrets are going to be dug up when we get some digging done and charming?
Let's find out with the three facts. Let's dig them up through the ground. Triple H coming in with a shovel, but we've got first and last appearance of Moby Harland. What were you, man? Favourite character of the show?
Well, he's pretty forgettable, but you know what? This is first and last. I mean, I had to give him a mention, so.
Aye. Fact number 2, Jax becomes the first person to get stabbed in a pretty great scene. And fact number 3, it's the first episode not to feature.
If we can go back to the second factor that I wasn't allowed to go into detail in.
You're allowed to do what you want.
I wouldn't really say it was
democracy.
I wouldn't really say it was a great scene. Like he punched Kohn in a fucking hairdresser's and got stabbed by a pair of scissors.
Oh, way to bury it. I actually thought it was a good scene.
Well, no, you said great. And I just
good, great, shite, jobby. Just fucking accept it.
Yeah, and Juice, for some reason we don't get Juice. I don't understand. Last episode we didn't get Tig. 2 episodes in a row. Before that we didn't get Chibs.
Well, the Chibs one made sense.
Alright, Chibs one made, but I wonder if there was a problem with filming in Season 1 with the actors not available, or did they think it was good having episodes where certain club members were missing? I wonder what the whole logic was behind, just random members missing for each episode. I don't know, but there you go. First episode that Juice misses, and apart from this one, I can't think of many other episodes Juice does miss, apart from maybe Season 7.
He misses a few in Season 2 after a certain incident, but yeah, anyway, Season 7. Why are you trying to pretend that people he survives to then? This is a not spoiler-free zone, mate.
Alright, he doesn't make it to Season 7.
He dies next season, man.
He dies this episode.
His juice box collapses and his arse goes. But anyway, this episode begins immediately following the offence of AK-51, and I like this. I like the fact it's just a brief retransition. That could have been a fact, but you know what?
You mean it's a continuation?
That's what I just said.
You said brief transition, but here.
It is a transition. If you actually watch the final scene of the last episode into this one, it's literally like a fucking Windows Movie Maker PowerPoint situation. It just goes into it perfectly. But we've got Jax and Tara going home, and then as this is happening, Water and Power are doing some construction. But the workers then stop digging as they have found some old bones. These bones will later be revealed as 3 Mayans, or should I say 2 Mayans and 1 mechanic. But then Tara and Jax arrive at her house.
Jax asks Tara why she's acting weird. Tara's seems off. He asks anything to do with that car following, which of course it is. Tara then explains that she was in a relationship with the guy and that it didn't end too well. It got a bit violent and that he basically won't leave her alone. So Jax just, turns into tough boy mode, tells her to go inside and lock the doors. What does Jax think is going to happen here? Tells her to go inside and lock the doors. Then he just does his wee mad, strut down towards Kohn. I like Jax here, but I just thought he looked like a bit of a dick. Go inside, Tara, lock the doors. Or you could just watch me stab this guy's car, So he goes down, stabs a knife, breaks the radiator. Kohn comes out and talks about all these offences that he's just committed there, but Jax is like, hey, well, you're stalking Tara here. You'll be in the cell next to me. And then he asks them, did they teach how to suck dick at ATF school, which I thought was a pretty...
Could have been a quote of the episode, that one.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good quote there from Jackson, and then Jax says, I'm telling you, man, this is your first warning, and last warning. He said last warning, but technically it was his first as well, so... I think it would have sounded better if he just says to him, this is your first and last warning.
Yeah, and then Jax, instead of going to the club, this maybe issue, he goes to Hale. And Hale's like, that's who she had the restraining order.
Oh, you knew? And he's like, well, not really, but I kind of figured it out. Yeah, Jax was trying to paint Hale here as a bastard. Not really. Hale kind of... He didn't even know shit. Tara just asked about a restraining order. Now, maybe you could put 2 and 2 together, but she never says, look, there's this crazy guy stalking me, Hale, help me. She just asked about how restraining orders work. So...
Yeah, and it's almost like this is the episode where we see, Jax and Hale kind of work together. The blossoming of that.
Well, I've always said here, I don't think Hale is Hale's probably the only guy. He's probably the only he's probably only like authority figure, like officer, member of law that is against the club but not an antagonist. Even though he does his job, he's not like Unser. He's not on the payroll of SAMCRO. Now Unser can take offence to that and claim he's not on the payroll, but we all know. I mean, he is. Unser looks the other way. Unser's got all these dodgy fucking dealings, selling his his DVDs and all his electronics. Oh, Unser trucking. So I mean, Unser can claim that he's a good cop and he's legit, but we all know Unser ain't legit. But Hale is legit. But he's also like he's not like Stahl that would like lie and be vindictive and hurt people to get.
He's a true Captain America.
Yeah, he is. He's like a good guy. Now, yeah, I know you're maybe not supposed to like him because he is trying to bring SAMCRO down, but he's trying to do it the right way, the legit way. He doesn't want to like step on people and hurt people to doing it. And we see that throughout season 1 and 2 and a little bit of season 3, but that doesn't mean he's dead. This is no spoilers, he's refused. He might be dead. But then we go back to the clubhouse and basically they need to make money. Chibs tells the club about this fighting that they could enter Half Sack into since Half Sack's boxing. He's boxing the head off a Lowell Jr. Lowell Jr.
Lowell?
Who gives a shit, mate, right? I'm going to call him the mechanic from now on. Clay then tells him to get the ring because he's lost enough brain cells and he needs something to get back to work. Then they talk about the potential fighting. Tig has some great idea that they could make Half Sack look strong and win his first 5 fights, but then chuck the 6th fight to get better odds on him. So they're getting odds on the guy that he's against. But I mean, this sounds like something you could easily think of, yet Tig makes it sound like it's a master plan. I thought it was weird if the club...
Yeah, but then you've got like blank expressions for Jax, and it's not, especially Clay. I don't know, it's almost like it's like the first time Ron Perlman himself has heard the element of betting. He's staring at him blankly with the glasses, and he's like, make it take 50 grand and triple it.
Well, he is a lefty, so maybe he doesn't fucking know anything about betting. And tell you what, see, if you don't know anything about betting, I would recommend that you keep it that way. Betting, gambling's for mugs, right? And then he asks
Jax, but what do you think, VP? And Jax is like, yeah, I don't know, but all I know is we need the money for the Irish. He sounded very depressed.
Sounded it worse than you, for fuck's sake. I don't know what was wrong with Jackson, man.
Well, I don't know, maybe he just doesn't like betting. Maybe he actually is smart, doesn't spend his YouTube money and put it in the NFL. Maybe Jax knows what he's doing. You know, that's what it is. But Jax then receives a phone call about the whole power stuff, the bodies that have been dug up. And he tells Tig and basically the whole club, though, that they've dug up some bodies out on water and power line at the construction site. And as they go out there, basically Jax is like, was this us? I mean, so what were they talking about in the ride over? You know, and then they're there, and then Tig's like, should be free. And Jack's like, I'm afraid to ask, brother. And then we get the transition into the opening credits, and we're going to get a whole dead body episode. Dead bodies are dug up. Who are they going to be, though? Who's your money on? 3 Mayans or a 2 Mayans, 1 Lowell situation?
2 Mayans, 1 Lowell. Oh.
Hell yeah, but then we get the whole discussion back at the clubhouse, and this is like the first mention of the Mayan War, talking about, I mean, I think it is 91 and 93, even if it does say in the Wikipedia page 92 and 94, because I'm willing to bet the Mayan War wasn't going on after JT died. You willing to put money on that prospect?
Why wouldn't it? JT dies and the Mayans are just like...
Well, because I remember it used to always say 91 to 93.
Aren't they more likely to go on the attack even more when the president just dies?
Well,
Do they not see vulnerability? Or do they see Clay maybe step in like, oh fuck, time to back off here? This guy is going to wipe out all the gringos.
Well, it could be that, but Clay basically explains that the kilt, it was a bloody time, the kilt 3 Mayans are in there.
Wetback massacre.
It was a wetback massacre, he said. It was a bloody 2 years, brother. And then Chib says, well, about the whole IDing process, and then Tig mentions about, it was pre-OJ, of course a reference to OJ Simpson, so they didn't actually use that stuff back then, but now they could do it, so the club could be in deep shit. Clay then says about the Jacks, could the old squeeze hook a brother up? Weird line there for Clay, wasn't it? Hook a brother up? It almost sounded like he was in the fucking
Niners. Fucking standing next to Leroy, but the last time I checked, Clay was pretty white.
He is.
Maybe he wants to be black. Maybe Ron Perlman wishes to be black, but...
As Clay said, make it ghetto, make it gangster. Tara's then at St. Thomas. Hale walks in, sits down, basically says to her about Agent Kohn, and then she goes on about how she had to jump through like all these loopholes in order to get Kohn fucking down on the restraining order. And it's at this point, do you think Cohn's absolutely humped at this point? You think, where is he?
That's not looking good for him, is it?
No, it's definitely not looking good for him. But then we're back to tomorrow. Gemma and Claire discussing about the whole Lowell stuff about who knows what, and Clay's kind of saying about that Tig's the only guy that really knows the real truth. And that begs the question here, right? Spoiler or not, does Tig only know about Lowell Sr., but why he was killed? Or do you think Tig may know a bit more about JT than what we actually think he knows?
I don't think Tig knows anything about JT.
But it's interesting that he knows about Lowell Sr., but you know what I mean? None of the rest.
Well, maybe but I'm not. I just don't.
We're barking up the wrong tree there.
I think. Well, maybe that's a theory, Fid, mate. Right, but I don't think so.
Yeah, but Gemma's a bit worried here, that Tig only knows the truth. But then they're in the hospital. Tig plans to distract them by showing his ass at the dopamine bit. They managed to get the key card, so Tara wasn't there, but they go down, and then I guess is when Clay says to Jax, right, me and Tig will go down, you run interference, and then Jax comes down after these two are into the bodies. Tig basically asks Clay, has he ever fucked a dead body before? And he's like, nah, never, man. That's a really funny line, wasn't it?
Yep. Tig's like, oh, I love it. It's cold, man. It's a great feeling. And Clay's like,
stop.
Can we talk about fucking something else?
Come on, man, talk about something. But then Jax comes in, and then Clay's like, oh, fuck, and then Tig's trying to ram 3 dead bodies into the one container.
Yeah, Tig then says he's going to take the teeth out, but Jax notices a tag. He says they've already been ID'd, looks at it, and he's like, Lowell Sr., what happened here? And then Clay and Tig basically kind of lied to Jax and just say that he was a casualty of war, wrong place, wrong time. And they just didn't have a lot of time to think about it, so they buried him with the Mayans. They buried him with the enemy.
But see, this brings me back to the previous thing now. If Tig knows why Clay killed Lowell Sr., right? Obviously, it can't be for the same reason that he ain't telling Jax, because the whole reason he doesn't want to tell Jax because Lowell Sr. is connected to JT. Pretty much that is it, right? So therefore, if Tig knows about it, is it not kind of the same thing? It's interesting why Clay would go to such lengths not to tell Jax about Lowell Sr., but Tig knows, in my opinion. Clay's did a very poor job of covering this up here. It's he's trying to let on to Jax that there's nothing to hide. He even says to him, oh, I've got no secrets from you, which we all know is bullshit. But, you don't get where I'm coming from?
Not really, no.
You've no idea?
Not really, no.
Not in the slightest?
No, well, no.
I just don't get it. Well, if Tig can know, why can't Jax know?
Tig's fucking sergeant at arms, right? Him and Clay's like that.
I bet it's...
Tig knew that fucking Clay ordered the hit on fucking Opie, so why can't Jax know? Ooh.
That's different.
Shit, spoiler.
What the fuck?
Spoiler.
What's Lowell Sr. to Jax? Opie is to Jax? Fucking hee-haw.
Spoiler. You make me angry and you make me spoil the show. Let's move on, right? We get Agent Kohn. He breaks into Jax's house and he's in Abel's bedroom and he just looks around, starts destroying pictures, then pisses all over the floor. I don't like this guy's a fucking weirdo, man. Don't like him. Acting all weird. Then Gemma finds that the mess, steps in the piss, not great. Calls Jax. Jax sees what's happened here, comes to the conclusion that it was Agent
Kohn that is pissed all over his house. We almost thought he did it in the previous episode when they were doing the raid.
Who's that?
Agent Kohn, brother.
Who the fuck's Kohn?
It's Kohn, alright? Kohn is pissed everywhere. And then Jax phones Hale, which I don't get about this, right? He phones Hale and says about this whole situation. Then Hale's like, I'm dealing with it. He's at Floyd.
Yeah,
never in a million fucking Sundays would the police tell you that.
That'd be like Hale finding out where the fucking rapist was in episode 3. And he phones Clay and he's like, "Yo, that rapist is at the carnival, but don't you go there, Clay. I'm gonna deal with it." I mean, what? Fuck off. Jax goes. He does deal with it. Starts battering Kohn. Cohn's getting a haircut or a beard trim or whatever. Then he starts getting punches to the face. He gets thrown out the window. Reminds me of Eddie Murphy, apart from the fact that it wasn't really a funny scene. I just got thrown out the goddamn window!
That was
Beverly Hill
brilliant,
Cops
wasn't
won. Then
It's called Beverly Hill Cops, alright?
Kohn stabs Jax with a pair of scissors. Jax kind of stops momentarily, but then just keeps beating up Kohn. Then the scene ends. We come back. Cohn's being questioned by Unser. No, is it? No, it's
No,
not.
he's being
It's
questioned by. He's not really being questioned. It's kind of just Stall and Hale
Stall and
burying him.
Hale, and his version of events aren't being backed up by the people that were in the hairdressers. He says we're all on the same team here. He says that he just doesn't want Tara to get into the hands of Jax because they know that'll happen. It'll all go shit and she'll mess up her life. But Agent Stall says, look, we're no longer on the same team. You've just basically ruined your fucking career. So get out. And yeah, that's it. Cohn's career, man, is in tatters
Well,
here.
see this guy's point, like, oh, he doesn't want to go back. Then why the fuck were you such a jobber to her in the first place? Then?
Well.
See, I mean, he's a complete fucking. I get that. It's the whole gimmick, but.
Meanwhile, Stall goes in with Unser to try and question Jax, but Jax isn't really saying much. Stall says that Floyd says that this guy attacked you with a pair of scissors and you threw him out the window in self-defense. And Jax is like, well, if that's what Floyd he saw, then, or saw that he seen, or said he seen.
Aye, you're free to go, Jackie boy, out the fucking door. Where you go, pal. But Clay, he talks to Lowell earlier, just a wee bit before this, and he basically gives him the SAMCRO pep talk. Don't rat. We found your dad. It's all right. He's safe. No, he's actually dead. He's no safe. But, you know, they're going to put some poison in your ear. Just don't listen to them. You'll get through it. It's all right. 15 seconds later, Lowell Jr. is greeting on the floor. Stall and Hale have him like that. He's done, isn't he?
He's done. He's finished.
I mean, it was fucking embarrassing. Like, Clay gives him the greatest pep talk. Ron Perlman almost puts him over.
Ron's like, listen, man, you might be a shitty mechanic, but you're one of us. But then, 15 seconds have been talked to by Stall and Hale. I mean, it's almost like he's about to break down and bloody spill all the club secrets. But Unser comes in, kind of saves the day, and it's like, come on, I'm going to take him out of here. You're done with this guy.
You guys want to rent a goddamn wing? Woo. Tig then shows up at Jax's house. Clay's also there, and then you kind of get like the three of them discussing Lowell. That he went AWOL on his kid who was in the bathtub or something that Clay like references later on in the episode, which is weird. And then Clay shows up and he says that your father wasn't buried with the enemy. He was the enemy. Great line for Clay here. Says that he was a weak, junky rat. And then at this point, Lowell kind of gives up.
He's like, kill me, Clay. I don't want to hurt Moby.
Then Clay just, I don't know, next time Moby drowns in that bathtub. It's like, what?
Then Clay just grabs a pillow and he's about to go Chris Benoit on Lowell Jr. here. Puts the pillow up to his head and just points the gun at it and he's like, do it, Clay. I'm a junkie, man. And then we go back to the fighting scene. We've got Half Sack into the final. He's beating this guy up. Then Chibs and Tig tell him, look, you've done great so far. But now, we need you to lose. So, yeah, that's it. The Half Sack gets told to lose because they've got a lot of money on him.
But Clay shows up in the fan. He then walks to ringside. He's talking to Cherry. It looks like she passed the Bobby test earlier on after Bobby tried to essentially rape her, but we'll just gloss over that.
Yeah, we didn't really mention that. So, Clay told Bobby to take Cherry up to his house to keep her eye on her so that she could not be around Half Sack while he was training for the fight. And he wanted Bobby to push up on her. So to see really if Cherry is legit, if Cherry is loyal, if Cherry really wants to be with Half Sack, but like I'm just not really buying this. Just because Cherry doesn't want Bobby's advances doesn't mean that she maybe wouldn't like accept advances from Jax. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, this is fucking fat 50-year-old. You know?
Yeah, because even when Clay,
Bobby,
even when Clay asks her, she basically says no, but only because of Gemma, not because you're Clay, mate. You understand where I'm coming from? You know, like when he asks her.
Well, in fairness, I don't think she ever wanted Clay in the first place when he danced with her patch over. But I get what you're saying, even though.
But Half Sack, he notices this after Clay kind of gives the green light for that kind of that relationship between Half Sack and Cherry, and then Half Sack goes, well, you know what? Fuck the script. Beck's the guy, and now the club are doing a lot of money, and him himself owes them 35 grand.
But in fairness, though, Clay kind of says it's his fault. Clay admits, look, I was getting close to Cherry on the sidelines, and Half Sack seen it, and he didn't like what he saw. So, aye.
Yeah, and then Tig with then a belter of a line saying he will rape both of them if they don't get out of here after, of course, they kind of just shafted the entire club. And then he jumps into the fan with Clay, looks in the back, he's like, what the hell's he there? It's Lowell, he's still alive. Clay didn't shoot him, and he's like, he's a damn good mechanic. Too bad he didn't use that line on Lowell fucking Senior. Because he's dead.
I don't think he done Tig's line justice. Like, it was a lot
We're
better
going to
than
get justice
that.
later.
It's like, go on, get out of here before I rape both of you. And Bobby's like, Tig, come on. And Cheb's was like, hey. Tig goes, come on, man, it's just an expression. Term of endearment. So, Tig, like, see if you didn't know Tig, if you just, like, randomly met Tig and he came out with all this shit, you'd think, this guy's fucking not right. Well, he's not right anyway, but you get a point, right? I think Tig's the kind of guy that you need to be around to understand him.
Ah, he's a great wee guy. Wee weirdo, like, fuck, he's the man, isn't he?
Yes, aren't
He is the man. Jax is sitting on the doorstep looking really depressed here with wet hair, isn't he? And he's a very depressing bastard, Jax, at points, I think.
Aye.
Tara then shows up and he says, the only reason you come back
Wouldn't
here...
you be depressed if you had to read John Taylor's letter every day?
Probably, that's probably why Clay fucking tries to burn them every point, man. Boring bastard. Anyway, Tara pulls up. Jack says the only reason you came back because I could only do this to Kohn because the police couldn't do this, which is basically get rid of him.
What are the letters?
Tara still got him? No, and then, like, we kind of, like, parallel scenes where, like, Tara shows up to Jax and Jax goes away and then Clay kind of shows up to Gemma, hits the bed because he's had a fucking tired day. Tiresome day, hasn't he? Like,
Tough life being king.
and then Gemma basically says that has to stay buried, the truth, and then Clay's like, yeah, and then the episode ends because he told Jack some of the truth, but he told Lowell a tinsy bit more, and the episode ends with...
But the big question is, how much of the truth does Tig know? That's what this guy wants to know, and we'll discuss that in future videos on the channel, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But now we have to move in to the quote of the episode, and for me, it had to be Tig.
Aye, it was Tig. Go on, get out of here before I rape both of you. Brilliant. I mean, there was actually quite a lot of quotes we could have took, because it just is. I mean, normally in another TV show, Walking Dead, you probably wouldn't even get fucking one that's worth you even remotely even thinking about after you've watched the episode, but this indeed was a belter, wasn't it?
No, it was great. It was brilliant. It was fantastic. I love Tig. I think Tig's my favourite character, I think, in the show.
Yeah, because, like, see when he says it, it's not even says a joke, he fucking means it.
I think he's been deadly serious. Like, then when he hops in the fan, I mean, I know this is out of context, it's not really to do with his quote, but he hops in the fan and it legit looks like Lowell Jr. has been raped. What happened to that guy? Oh, I got him earlier, you know, like, fuck. I don't know, but great quote here. Some really good quotes from Clay, but for me, this one for Tig was brilliant. Just randomly the way that he just, like, blurts it out to tell Half Sack and Cherry, just, instead of, right, you guys piss off out here, it's, go on, get out of here before I rape both of you. So, I mean, it was Tig's a man.
But no need to fear, Clay, because even when you didn't get quote of the day, you got MVP of the episode. What a man, Ron Perlman, step up again.
Great acting. We've seen different sides of Clay in this episode, some great quotes as well. We've seen him almost be like a father figure to Lowell Senior, Lowell Junior. Well, definitely not Lowell Senior. Lowell Junior, and then we've seen him with Jackson and even interacting with Abel. It's like he's seen a softer side of Clay in this episode. But then he busts into the hotel room with a gun. And you're thinking, the old Clay has returned. But then he proves a lot of people wrong. He's like, nah, I'm not going to kill Lowell Jr. I'm going to give him SOA rehab. So yeah, I thought Clay was good this episode. Another MVP for Clay Morrow. And I believe that is now 3 out of the first 7 episodes. Or is it 4 out of the first 7?
I'll have to look, but we'll look back at the end of every season.
3 or 4. Clay's the man. That's pretty much it.
Episode rating.
I like this one. I'll get maybe a strong 7.
I'll get an 8, so it's a 7.5.
7.5. There you go. That's it. 7.5 out of 10. Failed Bones. Up next, we have the pool. That'll be up tomorrow. Taylor Tuesday. Stay tuned for it. Till next time, though.
Peace.